color time!
Today I will be unboxing the National Geographic Ultimate Play Sand and comparing it to Kinetic Sand. The Ultimate Play Sand comes in this really attractive box, and if boxes are more important to you than the sand, I guess, that's something to consider. Let's see what's inside here. The Ultimate Play Sand comes with 2 pounds of sand, which is a good amount for what you're paying compared to other brands. And we also have 6 molds. Let's see, there should be 6 in here. Let's see what we got. There's also some instructions with guides and tips, which I'm not going to read, don't worry. So I'll just toss that over here. Let's cut this open and see what's inside. It looks like sand. Let's pour it in the tray here. Coming out kind of kinetic-y. Let's take a closer look. I'm gonna smush it around a little so you can see how it flows. It's definitely more powdery and a finer sand than kinetic sand, but that magnetic feel is still there. It's just a little different. And I'm noticing that it's sticking to my hands a little more, which I don't really notice with kinetic sand, which is kind of annoying. So especially if your hands are a little on the sweaty side, it's definitely going to stick. But it still brushes off pretty decently, so not a huge deal, just not as clean to play with as kinetic sand. Let's try to use some molds and see how it works. The molds do press into the sand nicely and hold their shape pretty well, so that's nice. I'll just play with it a little more and see how it compares. It actually comes out of the molds very easily. I think maybe even better than kinetic sand. I can't really get it to form a ball with my hands. It's kind of just going to fall apart. Now I will be using some of the brown kinetic sand, which you can already see the flow is quite different. It's a little more magnetic-y, there's more drag to it, and the texture isn't quite as fine. It's definitely a more coarse sand, but it's magical sand. And you can see it doesn't leave any residue on my hands, which is pretty great. It forms a ball really easily compared to the other stuff. It's basically like playing with clay and sand. Definitely see it's way more firm and holds the shape a lot better than the play sand without molds. Let's see how it works with molds. You can see it doesn't pop out of the molds quite as easily as the play sands did. The play sand kind of just fell right out. Oh, there we go. Still looks very nice. I definitely feel like I have to be more fragile with the play sand, where the kinetic sand's a little more firm, as I mentioned earlier. This will kind of just fall apart if I push it very gently. The other one will squish a little more. There's a little more resistance to the kinetic sand, but they're still pretty similar in that way. Now I'm just gonna play with rolling it just for fun. The play sand kind of feels like rolling a flower. There's not much holding it together. Now let's take a look at Kinetic Sand Build and see how that compares. It comes with a package of pink and white sand. I'm just gonna look at the pink stuff today. You can already tell it's a lot more clumpy than the others and more firm, stiffer. You can already tell it's gonna hold its shape really well, basically like sand and Play-Doh and clay mixed together. So it's hard enough that it makes a noise when I knock on it. The play sand would definitely not do that. And again, like kinetic sand, the kinetic sand build leaves no residue on my hands. Very clean to play with. It still has the kinetic-y flow to it, but it's definitely more clumpy than the kinetic sand, but it's still got that magical texture to it. Thanks for watching!